everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we begin, there is one important thing you need to know. The scenes you are about to watch are reconstructed and simulated for storytelling and educational purposes. This is not real-time footage of an actual survival event, and it is not intended to encourage imitation. Now, with that said, what you are about to experience is still grounded in real survival logic, real pressure, real decisions, and real consequences. Because Winter does not care whether a story is real or recreated. The rules are the same, and breaking them leads to the same outcome. The story begins deep in winter. The forest has already decided who belongs and who does not. Snow covers every familiar shape. Silence replaces distance. And the cold does not arrive suddenly. It creeps in slowly, convincing you have more time than you actually do, and moves forward alone. Not with confidence, but with restraint. Because in winter, bush strength is the difference between control and collapse. Every steps into resistance, every breath steals sheep, and the most dangerous part is not the cold. Self-but illusion that the body is still managing fine. This is how people misjudge when they mistake endurance for safety, and by the time the truth arrives, it is too late. The first objective is not shelter, not fire, not food, but exposure control. Because heat loss begins before discomfort appears. Terrain matters more than effort, and effort without terrain support is wasted energy. The man scans the forest, note emotionally, but structurally here aids Winter by drifting snow patterns. She reads slope told by snow thickness. He reads danger told by falling grants. He's underload. When Hen notices the rock formation, it is not excitement, it is calculation. Because caves are not automatically safe. Some traps smoke, some flood, some collapses. On freeze worse than open ground. Approaching slowly, he clears snow with his hands, not tools. Because sound carries in cold air and vibration reveals instability. He checks the ceiling, no taunts, but repeatedly. Because rock failure does not warn, its imply ends things. Once he confirms the cave blocks, when everything changes, this is no longer movement. This is containment. Survival shifts from searching for preserving the first night is not about comfort. It is about not crossing the invisible line. Into hypothermia, branches are gathered not for size but for dryness. Fire is small, deliberately unimpressive, because large fires consume oxygen, create false security, and wastefulness. Smoke is tested again and again, because poor ventilation kills faster than flames. Now is melted slowly because dehydration in winter is silent and deadly. By morning, nothing dramatic to happen. And that is the first success, because survival in winter is measured by what you do. As the these phase begins when panic fades and the systems replace reactions. The cave floor is cleared not for cleanliness, but because sharp stone and moisture's teal insulation arrays. The sleeping platform is built because ground cold drain sheet relentlessly. Insulation is layered, deliberately kind. Needless leaves anything that traps. Air drafts are sealed strategically, not fully. Because airflow must exist or the shelter becomes a trap. The fire pit is refined. No large deficiency matters more than flame height. Smoke behavior is preserved. Painting. And plus, because airflow cannot be guessed, water is stored away from airflow. Because frozen water is useless. Firewood is stacked inside, not for comfort, but reduce exposure time outside by second. The cave is no longer temporary. It's controlled. The third phase is where many fail, because they confuse survival with comfort. The Mandos note expand the cave. He improves its insulation lines, walls where heat loss is greatest. Reflective stone returns warmth. Airflow is steamed. Moisture is managed, because wet cold destroys endurance zones. Hard to find fire zone. Knee sleep zone, storage zone, chaos kills. Discipline preserves life. Fuel escalate only from sheltered areas, because when wood wastes calories, damp wood is dried slowly. Because rapid drying cracks, structure condensation is watched. Because ice buildup signals failure. By the end of this phase, the cave becomes a system, not a hiding place. The system survives storms. The fourth phase transforms the shelter into something defensible. The entrance is reinforced not to block the world, but to control. The blocks are shaped to fit rock contours, because gaps invite wind. Low entrance tunnel is built because heat rises and a low opening traps warmth. Now becomes insulation. Note enemy camouflage is applied not for secrecy from people, but protection from wind and wildlife. Snowfall becomes sadist, and every test leads to adjustment. Movement is practiced because awkward exits waste heat. By now, the shelter looks unimpressive. And that is exactly why it works. The fifth phase is routine survival, not dramatic. But relentless firewood routes are optimized. Fire is kept low and steady. Snow is melted on schedule. Clothing is dried in the wind. So life food is simple, because digestion costs energy. Ice is clear, because ice means moisture, and moisture means heat loss. Tools are maintained, because dull tools drain strength. Boredom appears, and boredom is dangerous, because it leads to shortcuts. Discipline defeats boredom. Day after day looks the same, and that sameness is earned. The final phase is the test that proves everything. When the storm arrives, it does not announce itself. It simply presses harder. It now piles against the entrance. Wind screams outside, but inside nothing changes. Fuel consumption ops because insulation works. The man rests not because safe, but because rest preserves strength. The storm lasts longer than expected, and this is where weak shelters fail. But this one holds when attempts the exit is cleared carefully, because collapse happens after storms, not during weak points are reinforced immediately. Because delay kills, the shelter stands warm, dry, hidden. The man does not celebrate because a survival is not victory. It is continuation. He leaves the cave not abandoned, but prepared, because true bushcraft is not about conquering nature. It's about fitting into it so quietly that nothing needs to see you. If you watched all the way through, then you already understand what most never will survival is: not loud, not fast, and not impressive. It is patient, disciplined, and unforgiving of ego. If you want more survival stories like this, grounded in real logic and real consequences, subscribe to the channel and stay until the end, because the next story will test even harder limits.